The weapons of Fallout can do a lot more than just deal damage. Certain weapons come with or can be modified to have different qualities. How would you like to be able to see your enemies in the dark, or avoid rolling a complication on an attack? These things and more are possible through weapon qualities. Let's take a look. Greetings, Vault Dwellers, and welcome to the Wasteland. This is your Overseer speaking, Three-Eyed Townie, and today we're going to be talking about weapon qualities in Fallout, the role-playing game by Modiphius. This video is a continuation of a Learn to Play series that I'm putting together for the game. This is part 3 of equipment, and in previous videos I've covered a lot of the basic mechanics of the system itself, so if you haven't checked those out yet, you might want to take a look. Weapon qualities describe how a weapon functions outside of the standard damage that it deals. Some weapons come with properties, while others can be modded to have them, and while some of them are good, others not so much. The accurate quality gives you the opportunity to deal additional damage on an attack. By spending up to 3 action points, you can add 1 combat die per AP spent to your attack roll. However, if you choose to do this, you cannot spend ammunition to deal additional damage. A weapon with the blast quality doesn't target a single character. Instead, it targets an entire zone. You would select a zone that your character can see and perform the appropriate skill test at a base difficulty of 2. Just remember to adjust the difficulty for any impairments such as range, obstacles, or weather effects. If you succeed, every character in the targeted zone takes full damage along with any effects rolled. And if you fail, you roll half the damage and ignore any effects. The way Blast is written, it does in fact target entire zones, so Game Masters should definitely keep this in mind when designing areas for their combat encounters. You want your player to reap the benefits of the quality, but you don't want to oversize a zone to the point where the blast overwhelms an insanely massive area. A weapon with a close quarter quality can be used efficiently within reach of your target. As a result, there's no penalty for getting up close and personal with your opponent and opening fire. A weapon with the concealed quality is easily hidden on your person or otherwise difficult to detect. For flavor, you could also consider it a disguised weapon for fun. Unless you're wielding the weapon, a character must succeed a perception plus survival test at a difficulty of 2 to detect the weapon. This is a fun one for narrative scenarios, like say you're entering a settlement that makes you check your weapons at the gate. Your concealed weapon is going to be less easy to detect, leaving you armed should things go sideways once you get inside. Just be careful, because if your opponent passes that skill test to check for weapons, you might have a fight on your hands. With the debilitating quality, your weapon deals damage so brutal that any injury caused has an increased difficulty of 1 to treat. With the Gatling quality, your weapon chews through more ammo per shot, 10 times to be exact. 1 shot with a Gatling weapon consumes 10 rounds. While burning through ammo doesn't sound great, the benefit here is that when you spend ammo to increase damage, you add 2 combat die instead of just 1. When firing a weapon that has the inaccurate quality, you gain no benefit from the aim action. Just don't do it. Don't even bother. Just spray and pray. In Fallout, mine is a quality, which I guess checks out because they had to add this rule set in somewhere. So when you place a mine on a surface and prime it, the mine becomes a dangerous object. Typically, a mine is triggered when an enemy comes into close proximity of it, but there could also be other triggers like a tripwire or a laser sensor or something else. When triggered, the mine deals damage based on its stat block to the character who tripped it, but it could also deal damage to additional characters in the zone if it has the blast quality. My suggestion here is to do your homework on the particular type of mine it is so that you know exactly what effects it has and what other qualities to be aware of. A weapon with the night vision quality typically has some kind of scope or sight on it that allows the user to see more clearly in the dark. When using a weapon with night vision, you ignore any difficulty increase due to darkness. Now, the core rulebook doesn't say if there's a penalty for using a night vision weapon in the daytime, so do with that what you will. The parry quality allows you the chance to give yourself some additional defense when being attacked. When a melee attack is made against you, you have the option to spend 1 action point to parry the attack, which adds 1 to your defense. Aiming with a recon weapon marks the target, so to do this you need to take the aim minor action. The next ally to attack the marked target gets to reroll 1d20 on their attack. The most reliable weapon is the one at your disposal, but the reliable quality allows you to ignore the first complication rolled on a skill test using that weapon. A suppressed weapon is the weapon of choice for the silent killer. If an enemy is not aware of your presence when attacking with a suppressed weapon, they don't notice the attack. That is unless they're the target and they happen to survive. A character may notice the attack by passing a perception plus survival test at a difficulty of 2. So there's a little bit of gray area here on this one. Say the target survives or the enemy passes the skill test and notices the attack. Does that give away your location, or do they just know that shots have been fired? The book doesn't really specify here, so my best suggestion is to just let the narrative handle it. Ask questions like, what kind of concealment is your character taking advantage of when making the attack? Maybe if you're well enough concealed, the enemy just knows an attack has been made and possibly the general direction that it came from. The bottom line here is plan out your positioning when making an attack with a suppressed weapon. Weapons with the thrown quality typically have an ideal range of medium or close. If you happen to be further or closer than the ideal range for that particular weapon, adjust the difficulty of the test accordingly. A two-handed weapon needs to be wielded with 2 hands in order to be used effectively. Is it wielded or weld? However, you can use a two-handed weapon with 1 hand, but the difficulty of the skill test increases by 2. The unreliable quality increases the complication range on a skill test to attack with it by 1. Weapon qualities are a great way to add flavor and complement your playstyle. Some giving you tactical advantages or disadvantages, while others fuel the narrative, giving you different ways to describe and plan out your actions. It's important to understand the qualities of the weapon you're using so that you can get the most out of it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found this breakdown helpful. As you probably already know, this video is a continuation of the Learn to Play series, and we have so much more to cover. If you don't want to miss when the next video is coming out, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. You can find me and the rest of the Fallout 2D20 unofficial fan community everywhere on the internet. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, and we have a very active Discord community as well. And I'll leave links for all that in the description. And if you haven't already ordered Fallout the role-playing game by Modiphius, you can do so directly from their online shop, and I'll leave a link for that in the description too. Thanks again for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, I'll see you in the Wasteland.